All right, I want to describe some terminologies here. This is actually a cowboy cigarette. Uh, all right, here's a term that I got that I just came up with right here, man. It's big potatoes, small potatoes. See, nah, you could even throw in some hot potatoes if you want. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Pass you a hot potato. Uh, basically, big potato, small potato is this. When say I make a serious claim like the government, man, is corrupt. The bankers, man, and there's martial law, and then all of a sudden people want to talk about people using the welfare system. You know what I'm saying? When you look at the welfare system, that's small potatoes in comparison to the corporations robbing us fucking blind, man, and upside down and backwards, dude. Just that's a big potato argument right there. That. But listen, in comparison, the welfare, small potatoes. Listen, and just likewise, look, actual crime, hood crime, maybe in the 90s it was bad because the CIA engineered gang wars, was taking a lot of people out, and then also the government engineered drug wars, taking a lot of people out, and a lot of times those ducktailed in and out of one another, and the police state duct tapes in it all out of this drug war, which has now they've taken over the drug war, and that now they're really the kingpins. So now they got to flip over to this terror shit, and they did link up terror to drug war in 2004. You know what I'm saying? When they came and hit my house. You know what I'm saying? So that's real shit. Even though I'm small potatoes. You know what I'm saying? But the shit that they're doing, that was big potatoes. But at the time it didn't. It didn't click. I wasn't political enough at the time. You know what I'm saying? I was too young and immature, and no one ever schooled me. You know what I'm saying? So I had to get schooled through multiple sources, mostly through the streets, on certain street politics. Then, you know, like older family members taught me about bigger politics, but yet they, you know, it's not something someone can teach you. It's something you kind of got to see for yourself. If you want to get something accurate, you got to grow up to a point and mature where you understand it for yourself. That's where I'm at now. You know what I'm saying? But I understand the difference between big potatoes and small potatoes. And you got to watch out how they get you all dazzled with small potatoes. But then they sneak the big potato behind their back and pass it off. Like in football when you do a fake handoff. You know what I'm saying? So don't let them do this. Keep your eye on the big potatoes. And here's another way that they try to do it. They try to compare apples to oranges. Like when the cops kill a black guy by breaking his neck. Now they throw out, well, black people kill each other in the streets all the time. That's an apples oranges situation there. That's not relevant. Listen, white police officers shouldn't be killing. Police officers shouldn't be. Listen, once you're in custody, once you get a person into custody, their life, you're responsible for their life to keep them safe, to get them to the judge where he can make some money for the state, basically. But if they're guilty of something, well, no, hey, he's got to punish them a little bit. He's got to, that's understandable. You know what I'm saying? But all you people are in your care. If they're molested, which means hurt, taken advantage of, treated improperly, being unnecessarily mean to them, that ain't right. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, listen, that they make light of every murder of a civilian. That's what it really is. It's murder what's going on here, dude. When you get to when you're above the law, but you're an authority figure. No, the same laws you serve, you should also walk in. And even you should actually even have more laws against you because you're in a position of authority. That's where we got it back. That's where we got things backwards. In this day and age, the man himself, the person, it seems like all the responsibilities on us to keep everything right while everyone else is overlooked. Like if you got a position of power, there's less rules for you. When there should be more for you, because that's what stops corruption, and that's what makes people uphold to integrity. You know what I'm saying? And having ethics and doing what's right. But you got it backwards, because oppressing people makes them want to rebel anyway. So it's insult to injury, and it's exceedingly sinful when your laws are so corrupt that it encourages crime and then overlooks crime at the same time. But only certain people got to get the hammer, and a lot of people actually get a promotion. You know what I'm saying? For blatant excessive use of force. You know what I'm saying? And without no repercussion, with no recourse. You know what I'm saying? So this is the game, but that's big potatoes right there. You know what I'm saying? It's like the shit people do, jaywalking. You know what I'm saying? Petty theft. Traffic violations. Not having your tags right. You know what I'm saying? This little stupid stuff, man. Or even just little petty drug dealers and shit, dude. You know what I'm saying? They're small potatoes, man. When it's like, but big pharma's out here. Listen, their fiends start from birth. They come out, they start injecting them with drugs. You got to remember, a vaccination is a drug out of a syringe. That is as low as you can go once you start putting shit in you with the syringe. And you got to think, you got to look at it, pharma that way. They're drugs. Once again, the big potatoes is ignored. But small potatoes, oh, someone's smoking pot. You need to throw them in prison for 30 years. Hard labor so they can learn their lesson. I mean, some people act like that while they just smoked weed. It's like, no, hey, I can smoke it. I pay taxes. But that guy, he can't. You know what I'm saying? It's hypocritical like that and shit. Big potatoes, small potatoes. You know what I'm saying? Apples to oranges. And then one of my favorite ways to say it is, it's a price of tea in China argument. It's like, oh, okay, for instance, if we're talking about the price of tea in China, what does oil in Iraq have to do with the price of tea in China? Even though, I mean, it could have something. You could say world economy and all that. But in other words, it just means, look, let's stay within the parameters of what we're speaking about. Let's not bring in outside non-related subjects, you know, in the course of this conversation or this argument, this debate, whatever, this battle of wills or egos, whatever. Sometimes it's as stupid as it is. But, you know, you just got to stick to the scripts, stick to what's right. Like, I was reading this book, The Art of Argument, and it talks about, like, rhetoric. There's two forms of rhetoric. There's rhetoric or whatever. It's like, when you argue something just to make it sound good, even if it ain't, that's one form of rhetoric. But there's another form that it means it's based on mature reasoning. So what it takes to attain a mature reasoning towards whatever you're arguing or debating about, if it's not mature reasoning behind it, then it's just rhetoric. You're just arguing something that might be bad, but the way you're arguing it can even make it appear good. And it'll sound good. You're just trying to, it's basically you're trying to sell something. That, you know, you're selling something. So you're being a salesman about it. And on the other hand, you're being a person who says, let us reason together. You know, you're trying to appeal to logic, to the reason, to the truth. You know what I'm saying? To what is right. You know what I'm saying? So you got to see, there's two spectrums of it. We want to stay in the mature reasoning spectrum of it and not just arguing something because we believe it and it sounds good. That's called itchy scratchy ears department. You know what I'm saying? That's the pimpery zone. You know what I'm saying? So just like to throw these things out here. And I just want to let people know I operate off of these principles. Like, listen, I stick to them. You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't even like to joke. I've become too serious because of these type of studies and understandings, and just hearing all these political talking points that are just lies. You know what I'm saying? It's just that's I guess I've heard people say, this is a spiritual problem. You can't solve it politically, and you can't. To try to solve it totally politically, solely politically, is insanity. It's just a never-ending abyss, rabbit hole you could run forever, and you'll never get it there. It's just like philosophy, same thing. Take you down that rabbit hole. I mean, and just keep you there forever if you just focus on these things just by themselves. You know what I'm saying? This is all apples and oranges, though, what we're speaking on here. But it's good to know what an apple looks like. It's good to know what an orange looks like. It's good to know definitely the price of tea in China at the moment. You know what I'm saying? And it's good to listen. Don't chase every small potato. You know what I'm saying? There's bigger fish to fry. You know what I'm saying? Let's stick to the big potatoes, because it's easier to define the whole if you can get the big potato arguments out of the way. You know what I'm saying? And then after you get enough of them out the way, you know the difference between apples and oranges. And by knowing this, you kind of know the tea of China. You know what I'm saying? It's like I ain't been to the market in a while, but I still know the price of tea in China. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I mean, it's difficult out here because people's trickery and denial, gaslighting, gymnastics just really sucks. I mean, and I guess trying to minister medicine to the dead, man, some of these people, and you just got to back up until they're willing to be reasonable. Because sometimes when you see someone that is just unreasonable and they're just argumentative and kind of contentious, and they just argue the opposite just because they can do it, because it's rhetoric on the immature reasoning. It's because it's egotistical reasonings. You know what I'm saying? And they're based on falsehoods and not truths and facts. That's the difference. You know what I'm saying? The others are, you got to stick to the facts. You know what I'm saying? And then don't get tricked, man. It's point to the mountain and strike the grindstone.